What's today, y'all? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, y'all. It's Trending Topics Tuesday, and we're talking motherly mayhem. That's the topic of tonight's Trending Topics. Listen, Monique, she out here calling us sweet babies. She telling us that she loves us. But yet, she got her biologicals in the street saying, Mommy don't love me. Her oldest son, he did a little TikTok today, or whenever he did it. He don't feel like one of her sweet babies. Her biological. And I apologize. I see somebody trying to get backstage, but we full. The train is packed. Now, we got to have a conversation tonight, y'all. And I want y'all to buckle your seatbelts. Yeah, we're giving a warning. Somebody out there throwing the chat, we got to give a warning. Buckle your seatbelts. There may be some turbulence on the train. We may crash and burn. But we're going to have a conversation tonight. And I'm going to let y'all know up front, y'all not about to put a chokehold on me. You're not going to put a muzzle on my mouth. Because I'm going to say what I got to say. I probably stand in the car alone, but we're going to talk tonight. Come on. Warning. Buckle up. Thank you, in my opinion. Let the people know. Buckle up. You're about to have a conversation. Because her son said something. Then Daddy and Monique, they sit together on the couch in their house and they have a response. I'll be 54 in March next month on the 21st. I'll be 54. My mother and my daddy still alive. Come on, Felicia. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Sending loves and light, my sweet babies. Come on now. Get your shake cognac. Get you some tea. Get you some water. Get your wine. But get ready. Buckle your seatbelt. We about to do this. We about to do this. Yes, we are. So her and Daddy sit on the couch and they respond. The response was something different and special. We're going to talk about it. Motherly mayhem. So I'll be 54 in March. My daddy, to God be the glory, still alive. My mother, to God be the glory, still alive. My mother, late 70s. My dad, mid 80s. To this very day, and I told y'all I'm 54. If I call mommy or daddy right now and told them I was down, broken, out for the count, feeling like I'm on my last leg, they're going to find a way to get to me. They're going to help me out. They're not going to say, oh, you too old. Oh, this, that, and the other. They're coming for me. There's this song. I can't think of it right now. But it says, if I got to get to you, a river, a boat, whatever, I'm going to come get to you. You don't stop being a parent till you're no longer here. Then you become the angel over your kids. Where they do this at? Come on now, Felicia. You better tell the people 52 and still baby girl to my daddy. You better tell the people. Where they do this at? So you got Monique, who don't got no problem every time they put a mic in her face or she's sitting down doing an interview talking about two people that are not related to her, did her wrong, and she wants an apology, but she wants her own biological son that she gave birth to out of her uterus to just get over it. Are we going to talk tonight, people, or are we going to play games? Or are we going to tiptoe around this? Come on, Wayne. Ain't no mountain high enough. They coming for me. Are my parents perfect? No. Am I perfect? No. Was I a perfect parent? No. But if my son called for me, I'm coming. I don't even take Uber. But honey, if my car wasn't working and I had to get on the Uber, I'm getting in the Uber to go get him. Gonna see about my kid. But y'all gonna have a talk with me and let's make it make sense. She could cry to Tyler, Lee Daniels, Universal, Netflix. Y'all did me wrong. Come on now with the unconditional love. You better talk about it. She could cry for decades that they did her wrong. But this is the first time I heard from her son. So we hear from her son the first time, and people like, oh, he needs to shut up. He's spoiled. He's entitled. We don't even know this boy. He spoke once, as far as I know. And he was very light on his mother. And he even said, you know what? I ain't mad. My brothers had a different experience with my mother. Now let's ruffle some feathers here. But if we're going to help each other out, let's help each other out. Sometimes when moms have a kid and then that kid and that mom, daddy didn't work out, and mom gets with somebody else and she has more kids and that relationship works out, sometimes, unfortunately, the two kids from the daddy that mommy likes, they get treated better. We're going to have a conversation. People used to talk to me when I was no longer with my son's father. When you going to date? What you going to do? This, that, and the other. A man in the house. And they tried to get in my head. But I held on to God's unchanging hand. Come on, K and J. DB, you teaching tonight. I got my church fan out. Forever Mother Gang. Come on now, K and J. I appreciate you. I'm not saying, when I say something, I don't mean always 100%. I did say sometimes. If we're going to tell the truth and shame the devil, talk to the kids in the street who they might have been the firstborn. Mother didn't do well with that father. They got with somebody else and they had 3 other kids. Those 3 other kids were treated differently than they was. I ain't making stuff up. Talk to the kids on the street. Don't worry about me. Talk to the people on the street. They wasn't treated well. You only get one biological mother. And it's up to that mother, no matter how many baby daddies she got, to treat all of those kids well. Every last one of them. Used to meet people and they want to tell me, why you doing this? Why you doing that for yourself? I knew right away, you ain't the one for me. Goodbye. And no, I never treated my son like he my husband or my man. No. He's my son. But y'all ready? We're going to talk tonight. We're going to have a conversation. I tagged onto this conversation. Kirkland Parkley, I appreciate you. Diva, my mom had 7 kids, work, and still had time for each one of us. We lacked no love from her, and we all grew up and had productive lives. Thankful for my mom. Holler to the moms out there that's doing their thing. I appreciate your comment. Holler to the moms out there that's doing their thing. Yeah, I hear you. We just got line up, passages, line up, because we're going to have a conversation tonight. This boy is hurt. Now he got his offspring, and his offspring was born into pain. He's in pain. His offspring is born into pain. Now we got this generational mess of pain. We're going to talk. Then we got another boy. He had to turn his mom in. Kind of life you got when your mom is doing wrong and you a little kid, 7 years old, and you got to turn your mom in because your mom is doing wrong. What is going on here? So Monique, instead of realizing her baby's in pain, I don't care that he's 30-something. He's in pain. Instead of her realizing that, she sits next to daddy, who she claimed raised her. This ain't me saying this, y'all. She claimed he raised her. Well, he gets an F. Daddy gets an F. Monique, you said daddy raised you? Well, daddy gets an F. Because you failed. We're going to listen, but he told this story of how, oh, you called me and I had to help you get your car, this, that, and the other. Whatever. I got a new car last year after my old car, my car before that. It had over 300,000 miles on it. It was hanging on by a thread. Yeah, and the family came through and helped me negotiate getting my car. What is the big deal? That's what family is for. You know what's ironic? She wants something from other people that she won't even give her son. Can y'all check that? She wants something from other people that she won't even give her son. She said that Kevin Hart lent her money when she was down and out. A perfect stranger, pretty much. Kevin Hart. But you can't throw a nickel, dime, dollar your kids' way without bringing it back up in their face. We about to talk. Buckle your seatbelts. Motherly mayhem. It's the foolery. It's the nonsense. It's the double talk. Is you wanting forgiveness from others, but you won't even embrace your biological son that came out of your tummy that you carry for 9 months. Give a darn. I can't die with this money. If my son needed it and I got it, is it here? I got the money to get you a car or to give you a down payment for a car. Here. I have the money to give you a down payment for a house. Here you go. No, you ain't got to pay me back. Yeah, we're going to shake this train. We're going to shake it. We may crash and burn. That's why I'm telling the people, put on your seatbelts. If you bought a ticket tonight, put on your seatbelt. Can't do you didn't know you ain't gonna burn me with the money. I'm gonna spend my money while I'm here. You can spend my money with me while I'm here. If you need something while I'm here and I got it, you got it. My dad worked a job all his life. He did not have a ton of money. But whatever, child, we gonna get into this. I gotta bring because this subject got me hot. Now wait a minute, because I want to just you know what? As I bring the people in the building, I just want you to hear the words to this song as I bring the people in the building. Can I get you know what I need in the chat? I need the what? Marcia said there's more to the story. Girlfriend, I met the backstage is full, but tell me more in the comments. I'll try to bring it up as you say it. There could be more to the story, but you know what I say at the beginning and end of the story? The seed you birth out of your body, you are responsible for. You want to know why we run into jacked up men as ladies? Are you ready for this? Because the jacked up mother raised them. Oh boy, let me bring. Come on now, choo choo! All aboard, everybody! It is Tuesday night, trending topics, and this motherly mayhem. Monique's son spoke out. Monique had a lawsuit again. And another boy, young boy, he had to turn his mom in. We're going to talk. As I bring the people in the building, I just thought we heard this song before on my channel, but we're going to hear it again as I bring the people in the building. Hold on, everybody, because I'm about to board this train. Mama knows. If you want to be a really a mama out there, Miss Lillian, I saw your post earlier. And I'm going to pray because you know what? Things can always turn around. I appreciate you. I appreciate your comment. God bless both of them, she said. I hope they reunite. I hope she gets to spend time with her grandchildren or her grandchild. And that's the family is that peace. I'm praying for them too. But can I tell you this? Daddy always been a piece of work. But for whatever reason, Monique feels that daddy is the savior. You want to call the world your sweet babies, but the sweet baby you gave birth to is crying out and you ain't got no love for him. From what it appears like. Let's hear her son speak. Let me see if I could pull it up here.
Hi, I am Shalon. I am a stand-up comedian, Monique's oldest son. I guess I felt the need to make this video to just provide some context into this false narrative about her praying to the universe. I know to reconcile our relationship or whatever the hell it is. I wrote it all down so that way I don't go all over the place and get emotional or anything like that. So I'm gonna talk like I'm reading a script, but it's just gonna help me kind of stay together. But to address the Club Shay interview that she did, where she states that she prays to the universe in regards to reconciling our relationship, as I stated, is odd. My mother and I both know that that is a very false narrative, and I would like to free her of having to continue telling that lie. Faith without work is dead, and neither one of us cares to put forth any effort to reconcile with the other. We are separate, as she put it, because she doesn't care to be my mother any more than I care to be her son. Neither one of us has had the desire to reach out to the other in a very long time, and I don't think that either of us anticipates that feeling ever returning. Speaking with my mother directly, in my experience, will either lead to some odd newfound moment of clarity in regards to how she was as my mother, or she retreats back to daddy to move forward with a conversation. And I'm tired of hearing my mother's truths. Newsflash, I'm not sure if people know, but standing in your truth doesn't make you noble. I'm not sure if people are aware of that. But responding this way, I feel as though it allows me to say my piece uninterrupted. To those wondering, well, why say something now? Call it a form of therapy for me, I suppose. But when her daddy had intentionally stated that they have 3 sons, but his wife is on the internet talking about the 4th son in a video that has millions of views, that rubbed me the wrong way. But anyway, to inform a child that you are not interested in being a mother at a time when that kid is the only kid, that has the potential to lead a child to believe that you are not interested in them specifically. But to take it a step further, you also admit, my mother had also admitted to me that she didn't do the best job that she could do, which would also make one begin to question, all of your past decisions and prior emotional interactions. But to be completely honest and fair, those were things that I was willing to get over. Nobody's perfect. We're all human. But my mother showed a clear lack of humility, compassion, and consideration when taking any level of accountability for those things. My mother does a fantastic job of acknowledging a lot of things, but she doesn't take accountability very well, and anything that she may take true accountability for, it's only at her convenience, in my experience. But if I had to guess, though, her interest in being a mother probably started around the time that she married her daddy and had his children. But that interest, obviously seemed one-sided, and as it should have been. By that time, I'm in my late teens, so to some degree, the excuse me, the neglect becomes easier to hide or validate, I guess you could say. There are now 2 baby boys in the house, that require attention. But still during that time, however, I still watched her enjoy the love and admiration of total strangers more than my own. To this very day, my mother has never expressed to me when, if ever, she became interested in me as her son. That did lead me down a path of questioning my self-worth and struggling to understand the value of a mother in a child's life. In the interview, she also states that she gave me an apology, but an apology to a son from a mother that consciously showed no interest in him holds no weight. There are still women to this day that my mother will give credit to for being more of a mother to me than she ever could. Her assistant, my cousin, being one of them. Every time, though, that my mother would state that she was right here whenever I was ready, that ideology still blows my mind today, that a person could openly admit to being an uninterested, not put my best foot forward type of parent and be so self-centered that they still express to the kid, you have to come to me when you're ready. You got to come to me for us to make this right. Okay. But I'm not sure what my mother could possibly think that she has shown me in the past or have for me now that's not money, goodness gracious, that would make me want to come to her or whatever those feelings are supposed to be. A mother is supposed to be the first woman that a boy falls in love with. I loved my mother very much, but my mother loved things more than she loved me. And she would validate her love for me by giving me things and would proceed to call me ungrateful or inconsiderate if said things did not have the desired effect. I couldn't imagine what it's like to be her, though, to ask God for what you want, and then he gives you what you need, though, only for you to ignore it and have the audacity to ask God for something else. And I'm glad I don't, I'm glad I didn't do that. And when he told you no, you went to the universe instead. By no means, though, do I want to give off any type of an impression that I am a victim of anything. It's not the case. As you can see, I'm smiling from ear to ear. I'm alive. I'm happy. I'm a dad. I'm healthy, I think. I drink a lot of water. I'm getting over a cold now. I still have my days just like everybody else. And, there were a few things that she did teach me along the way. I did learn how not to love from my mother. I also learned to make sure that I never lose so much of who I am that I have to validate it through another person. And though I feel as though, in hindsight, I think she did it reluctantly, I do appreciate my mother, for showing me what the top of the mountain looks like. You know what I'm saying? It did give me perspective on what hard work and dedication can get you, but I don't want something like that at the cost of giving up something that I created. I don't want it that bad. And speaking of creations, I genuinely, truly, I really did want my mother to have a relationship with my daughter. I even fought through those intrusive thoughts that were, if she wasn't interested in you, what makes you think she's going to be interested in your kid? But it took my mother no time at all to prove that those intrusive thoughts were correct. But what I can say, good for her, the universe did, bless her with 3 other sons. Bless her with 3 other sons, and God willing, I'm sure that one of them, all 3 of them are adults now. So I'm sure that one of them, God willing, if not all 3 of them, will make her the grandmother that she wants to be. I still look forward, to that moment for her. But overall, when it comes to the boys, though, I am happy that whenever they do hear me talk, sorry, my phone did something weird, but whenever they hear me talk, they don't know what it is. They can't relate to what it is that I'm saying. My experience with my mother is not their experience, with our mother. So my prayer for her and them is that they continue to see her the way that they see her now. I do also want to make sure that I say thank you to my mother for giving me life. Without that moment in time, I wouldn't have had my little one. But outside of that moment, there isn't anything that either of us has to offer the other. In my opinion, it's a waste of God's time and the universe's time for praying for something that you are not willing to put forth any effort to obtain. Putting the work into becoming Monique is more important to my mother than being my mother. And I do not believe that it was never about her being there and waiting for me, but it was supposed to be about me being there and waiting for her. My mother's value had reached such a low point in my life that I no longer found it necessary to either want to wait for her or even go to her. But like I said, man, I'm super grateful that she has the opportunity to do it all over again. You know, I'm happy for her. I hope the Cat Williams tour goes well, but you know, the narrative that she prays for us to reconcile is a false narrative. It's not real, and I'd appreciate it if she stopped saying stuff like that.
Ooh, ooh. Miss Lillian, I appreciate you. Thank you for covering this. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you back, and thank you so much for the super chat. Now, he said he's a stand-up comedian also. Do you know how much money she could have made? Perhaps gone on tour with her and her son doing stand-up comedy. She wants Oprah and Tyler Perry to come sit on the couch next to her and Daddy so they can have a conversation. Well, why wouldn't you say, you know what, Shannon, bring me back. I like to sit on this couch and have a conversation with my son. Let's hear part of her response. I can't stomach this whole thing.
There's some people that are saying, oh, you should be ashamed of your mothering skills. You should be ashamed of yourself. This is what I'll say. Let's let it play out. Because the same ones that said to me, I was crazy, I was deranged, we watched it play out. So just like with my son, we'll watch this play out. And I do want to address this though, Shalon. When you say her daddy, then that's when mommy gonna say stop playing, because you know this has been Uncle Sid your whole life. Uncle Sid knew you before you knew you. So for you to say her 3 sons, yes, you're absolutely right. He has 3 sons. He can't claim you as his son because he's always been Uncle Sid, and he knows your daddy very well.
And love that brother. And the irony of all of this is not what is said, but what's left off.
Yes.
See, you're leaving off the fact that the last time we laid eyes on you, your mother got you everything you needed for the newborn baby about 3 years ago. You're forgetting about how I, from Georgia, am talking you through getting your car after we gave you the half the down payment for it. And you were 31 years of age, 32 years of age at that point. And I'm negotiating the deal with the dealer.
So what?
For you as you sit there. And you have the vehicle you're driving right now because of your mother. These are the things that you're leaving out when you're expressing what you're expressing in reference to your mother. You're not expressing the relationship that you have with your father, where you spoke ill to him, not to mention spoke ill to your mother, but somehow your mother and father and I all have a loving relationship and communicate back and forth because of the love that we have for you. The one thing these individuals, and to the individuals out here that oftentimes speak after they've heard one side of the story, there's an old saying, believe half of what you see and none of what it is that you hear. Please don't take our word for it, but what we will convey is this. Those who are parents and have raised their parents up to being adults.
The children. Raise their children up to being adults.
Right on. Those who are parents that raise their children into adulthood know that there comes a time and a place in which they determine their own decisions, their own path. You can have multiple children that are raised in one house, but they act and they take on different things. Young man, because of the challenges that this young brother has had with mental illness. So we're communicating that out loud to speak to our community, to say, listen, y'all, if we have more public conversations, there will be less private angst.
Come on.
There will be less private issues that we carry on because we're afraid to communicate in front of white folks. I forgot to have my phone to read the last text message that I gave to you, Shalon, where I told you about the understanding of how you are speaking to a woman and how you as a man and how you perceive things may be completely different from how your wife, how your mother, how your sister, how your daughter will look at things. And when you learn how to communicate a little bit better, then things will happen a little bit better. These things, in the words of our great ancestor, Bob Marley, some people are so poor, all they have is money.
Come on.
Don't be that.
Come on.
Don't be that.
I'm sorry to be chuckling. When I hear you, when I hear my son, when I hear you, Shalon, talk about money and stuff, it's like, baby, as I told you when you were younger, I told you as a man, don't let nobody introduce you to me. You know who your mama is.
And when folks speak in reference to calling your seed, sometimes, especially when your seed decided to call things off with you because you didn't move for a 34-year-old, 32-year-old man in the time that he wanted to do, because you as a mother, you as an entertainer, you as an actress, you as a grandmother, you as a wife, allotted the time to see him, but he pushed you away. But then when it's time for him and it doesn't work for you, now it's a problem. Listen, it comes a point in time where when you become a man, when you become a woman, it is your obligation to do for you. To do for you. At 31, brother, 32, I'm sitting there on a conversation at the behest of your mother. Why? For you, because I love my nephew, and we still love you, Shalom. That's why your mother and your father interact with one another, to let them be aware of what's happening with you. So if you think you're not loved, that's because you're not paying attention. And there are other dynamics that fall into play in which we completely understand. And for you too, we're going to keep the light on for you. But I find it extremely ironic that the last time you saw me, you wanted to be able to call me dad. And I couldn't allow you to call me dad because there's only one dad in your life.
Oh my
and
God.
He's a friend of ours.
Come on.
He's a friend of ours. So again, we as people of color, let us stop being embarrassed about.
There's some people that are saying, oh, you should be ashamed.
Ooh.
Okay, they
Oh
need
my
to shut
God.
up.
Oh my God.
So
In my
off
opinion,
base.
Okay, I'm gonna start this off with a scripture because I'm gonna get ranchy. It says Proverbs 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way that he should go, and even when he is old, he will not depart from it. Now let's talk about it. Okay, first of all, you want a mama from the get-go. And then how do you expect this child to know the difference from uncle that's moving in the bedroom with mama? Now they married, they having children of their own. Uncle, daddy, husband. Okay, I don't know which one we supposed to call you, but either way it go, you already done confused this boy. Okay, from childhood. Okay, then when he gets grown, he's trying to build a relationship with you, and you pushing him away, talking about something he should be grown and taking care of himself. Who do that? You is disgusting. And then you let this uncle, daddy, husband, whoever he is, okay, get up here on the internet and address your son like it's his. But he don't want to be called daddy, but he want to have the right to chastise this boy and tell him he got mental issues. If he got mental issues, it's because he had a disgusting mama who didn't protect him, didn't love him, and didn't show him the way. And instead of that, you went out for fame. That boy sat down on the internet and said, she'll give you stuff, but she won't give you her time. She won't give you her attention. She won't give you that. And when you don't respect what she give you, then you don't mean nothing to her. You being disrespectful. That's not a mama. Hell, he might as well say he had a sugar baby.
Child, this man, he a piece of work. You can't call me daddy. You say, out of their mouth, they said he got mental issues. So if you know he got mental issues, then you really should have never did the live, because you would know that maybe he perhaps is not in his right state of mind and you're still talking about him. They're trash. They're trash. And so
and then the last time you talked to your son was 3 years ago, and that's all right with you?
That part.
Well, I have to say she just lost my support.
So Raheem said, he said, I don't get y'all. She was a working mom facing a harsh, cruel industry and was quiet for years while taking care of you. Let me tell you this. I don't know no person that works 9 to 5. Well, I don't want to say none, but I'm going to say this. Most people work 9 to 5 are in a harsh, cruel industry where it is backstabbing, fighting, cutting, and ripping you down to shreds. I really don't know who works in just, everything is all happy-go-lucky. Unicorns and ice cream. People are going through it. Just because you're in the industry, it doesn't immune you from anything than the regular people out here is going through. And we still got to be mother, wives, whatever. Daddy is out of pocket and out of line. And she's sitting there under her watch, allowing him to talk about the child she gave birth to. It couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. Leo, you're up.
Me diving for the mute button. Okay, so this is so distressing and sad to me. I will say this, right? The parent and the child have a tumultuous relationship, and the pathway that needs to be built comes through the parent. You teach, even if y'all have had a terrible relationship, you still teach your child regardless. A parent never stops being there for their child. So was you wrong earlier in the child's life? Perhaps. Were you not a parent who paid attention and who was there and was unloving? Perhaps. That is the viewpoint of the child. You still take that information and you continuously try to build that bridge. And you know why? Because you're teaching your child that I may have been wrong one day, you may be wrong in your relationship with your child, but I'm going to show you the way. I'm going to take it on the chin when you upset with me. I'm going to take it on the chin when you bring up all the times that I wasn't there. But I'm going to show you through a loving way that I'm still here, because you know what? I'm your parent. And I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. If you don't want to see me, you don't want to talk to me, fine. But I'm going to let you know I ain't going nowhere. I'm still going to be here. She is the one, the parent has to be the one to build a bridge. And I don't like all this Sydney talking to her child. He need to shut the F up forever. He don't need to say nothing. He was not a part of that. He was not there. He need to shut up. Just shut up. I can't believe she let him talk when it came to her. Really, they don't need to, neither one of them don't need to get on live and say nothing. They all need to be quiet. You ain't got nothing. You don't. They also, how, like you said, Diva, how is it that you asking these people to do right by you, and they owe you an apology, and Oprah and Tyler Perry and all these people owe you an apology, but you ain't getting your own stuff right in your own home? You ain't even showing up for your kid. But you want other people to give you something that you ain't giving? I cannot. I'm done.
This man had the nerve to say, we showed up for you. I called and was on the phone with you trying to help you get the car that's in your driveway now, and your mother gave you the part of the down payment. Can you go somewhere and kick rocks?
And I mean, that's so low. All the stuff that your parents do for you, my mom and daddy ain't never came out their mouth and said, well, we did this and we did that. I mean, come on. These people are trash. I'm like Denzel, trash.
Miss Lillian, I appreciate you. Money is not how you mend a broken relationship. Sometimes your child just wants to be heard. And that's a fact right there. Don't we all just want to be heard? And when he came to you and asked you, can he call you daddy? It was going back to his hurt childhood when everybody else in that home was calling you daddy and he had to call you uncle. Y'all messy. If he got mental health issues, it's because of what he endured in that household. Take some responsibility and wake up. And maybe you'll see why, I'm going to let you speak again, Leo, and maybe you'll see why everything in your life is going wrong, down a wicked, wrong path, because you don't even want to extend any kindness, but you want it all to come back to you. Go ahead, Leo.
And I'm agreeing with you. Do you notice how she can say she wasn't there, but how you hold yourself accountable is to change your ways? These people, her and Sydney both, they are not accountable for anything. And I'm sick of them. I am really, really sick of them.
Sick of them. Not accountable for nothing. That's your grandbaby. That's your grandbaby. Let me tell you something. I'm not impressed that I'm not really beat like that. Of course, we need money to live our life. Don't get it twisted. But if I got it, you can have it. If you my people, like they gonna bury me in the casket with this money. Savannah, you're up.
Boy. So Diva, this is why I mentioned in our earlier this week or last week Monique's story, that I had a feeling that Shalon's story was going to come out in I think it was around 2016, 2017. Shalon is a spoken word poet in the DMV area, and I recall hearing him on one of the radio stations here. And the host was asking him questions about Monique, and Shalon was doing his best to answer, but not answer at the same time, because he doesn't want to be known as Monique's first born. And I was riding home. I was stuck in traffic, and I knew about her son, her firstborn, but I didn't know that was her son. But I also knew about their relationship. But he was being featured that night in town in DC. And so they were speaking about their relationship. At this time, it was the height of the whole Oprah Tyler beef that Monique had going on and whatever. So that the radio host was asking about that issue with Shalon. So that's why I had brought it up. I knew this thing was coming up. It was not gonna be kept secret for too long. So I'm glad he spoke. He's always been well spoken, non-problematic. He's a great poet, and I'm glad he finally got to tell his story. He's never wavered. Very quiet. Really, really. It's sad that Monique did him did him like this. But it's also come out of her mouth that she's never, in the beginning, what she was chasing was fame. She wanted to be famous. That was what she was after. She was after the red carpet. She was after the lights, camera, action. She didn't want to be a wife. She didn't want to be a mother. She thought the best place for him was to be with his dad. She wasn't interested in being there for the sports events and the school, parent teacher conferences. Hollywood was where she thought she needed to be, and unfortunately, something had to give, and it meant, leaving him behind. And that's something that Monique herself, she's not afraid to tell that story, and this fractured her relationship, or it sacrificed Shalon. So Monique, she's never taken accountability, and she's quick to point a finger, but there's always four pointing or three pointing back at you, Monique. And this is why I don't support her, and I'm always ashamed about her, always wanting us to boycott this and boycott Oprah, Tyler, Netflix. But Monique, when are you going to take accountability for what you've done? And I'm sick of Sydney and all this other narrative and all this mess and madness, and there's more that's going to come out, and it's going to get a little more muckier. And I just think it's not going to get any better. There's going to be a little bit more that's going to come out.
Tay-Tay?
Well, I am not Teen Sweet Baby no more, because this is ridiculous right here. One, you let this man control everything. Why you had this man to be your peace mouth, speak your mind? This is like Latoya and her no good husband Rocky for the SWV and SK. We already talked about this right here. Oh, and my dog voice said, Princess need to shut his mouth, because this ain't got to do with you. This between Monique and her son. And tell her that it is disgusting that she called her husband the D word. No, I'm not going to call you the D word. I'm going to call you my husband. The husband by the law. No, you ain't going to control me. You ain't going to rule my life. You gonna take all the things from my son. No, I'm gonna be a mother until the day I die. I'm gonna stick with him. I'm not gonna give up on him. Okay? And now you want to come up here. Every time he opens his mouth, he always speak. Just shut up, Sydney. Everybody get tired of you. I'm so sick of you. I ain't no God. I'm not gonna let you take over nothing. Okay? Until you do right by me, everything you think of, it will fail. Okay? And that's my thought right there.
Thank you, Tay-Tay. I appreciate you. Admin Steva, Shalon Jackson, dad was Mark Jackson. Okay. A former NBA player and coach. Interesting. I have to look it up. But see, you know what the thing is? They need to read some books on blended families. There's a way to do that thing. And daddy is arrogant. He's messy. He's a piece of work. Kirk did the same thing to Carry On, and y'all was on Kirk's side. Stop it. I was never on Kirk's side. Just like I wasn't on, what's the singer's name that left his biologicals on the side of the road, and he's with his new family now, and said
Brian McKnight.
Brian McKnight. Come on, Julius.
Brian McKnight.
So no, I stayed consistent. I wasn't on Brian McKnight's side. I wasn't on Kirk Franklin's side. I think it's messed up when you want to run the streets as a man, You want to drop your seed, leave it to the left, leave it to the right, leave it in the middle, and then you get with somebody else and you decide that that person is the one. I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. But you can't be leaving dead bodies behind and acting like you didn't have a past when you left a seed every place you was. No, you better talk to your new wife and tell her, yeah, I want to marry you, but guess what? I got 5 other kids out there. So if you got 2 and I got 5, now we got 7. Do right by the biologicals. Because you know what? Ain't nothing ever going to be right for you if you don't do right by them. And that's why Monique, decades in, 15 years a slave, begging for Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey to give her apology that she's never going to get, because how you going to get something you're not willing to give to others? You won't embrace your son, and they're not embracing you. Do right by your seed. You brought them in this world. So when you had the twins, you did discover that work wasn't so important, because part of her narrative for not going to promote Precious was she had to get home to her babies, her twins. So at that moment, if you learned the power of parenthood, then go to your oldest son and say, you know what? I didn't have it then. I couldn't do it then, but I'm trying to do it now. Will you give me some grace and mercy and some forgiveness? But instead, you're going to get on a line with your daddy talking about he got mental illness. We went and helped him with a down payment. He 34. So what, a goddamn down payment? What you gave him, $5,000?
She ain't woman enough for that, diva.
I don't even make Monique type of money, and my son could get that and then some. Your grandbaby, it's a crib and a stroller and some clothes. Stop. Thank you for the super chat. Hey, Diva, Caitlyn Jenner did the same thing. He left 2 families behind before he got with Chris. And you see, a mess of a life. A mess of a life. When you want to leave them biologicals behind, when you want to act like that, like Tay said, ain't nothing you do is ever going to be right. I'm sorry, I'm going to shut my mouth. My screen shifted. I'm going to get to everybody. So please, Felicia, you're up.
Hey, good evening, everyone. This is a tough topic. Yeah, it is. Some of us may not be mothers, but we had a mother. So we have an opinion. First, I want to say, for those who may be thinking that I will not remain consistent, I do. Wrong is wrong. Wrong is wrong. You know, when I looked at her son speaking and I saw that clip a couple of times today, he's so beautiful. He sounds like his mother. He looks like his mother. He has that it factor like her. And I said, wow, how did this disconnect come to be? Why doesn't she see all of that beauty and grace and gift that she was given? Why doesn't she honor it? I know she's had a lot of trauma. Yeah. And then I saw, what is he? Stepdaddy, uncle, a brother, father. And when I'm listening to her son, Shalon, I'm hearing where this Sydney has co-opted all of his intimate relationships, up to and including his biological father. How dare you speak on my father? You know we good friends with your father. You know we talk to him all the time. You know you got a very good father. How you going to call me dad? You got a dad. Oh, come on. The words that they use to cause harm and injury. So you keep him from his brothers.
Come on now.
You deny his daughter.
Mm.
You sit there with your daddy husband and you insist that the title uncle be upheld on a 30-something-year-old man.
Come on.
She's so confused.
Mm.
And yes, I think that this is the year of truth, folks. Yep, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been saying for weeks to protect your resources. I have mentioned family, haven't I? Because when all of this comes to a close, wherever all this is, those of us on this panel, those in the chat, we're probably not even going to see each other. But the price she will pay is what she's been paying for the past 10 years. And I ain't talking about karma. I'm talking about in the real light that I walk.
Come on.
You're not going to get that kind of moral, spiritual justice when you're not giving it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Come on now.
So she's not getting no apology from nobody. She ain't getting no money from nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And she probably very shortly will be off the Dark Matter tour.
Oh my gosh.
She has to fix this.
Mm.
She has to fix this.
Mm.
I think we all heard her son. Her son said this wasn't about some stuff.
Yes, he did.
So they come back with, they're talking about some stuff. Not they, really, because that's Sydney. He talks a lot because he needs to feel important. Doesn't he?
Yes. Come on, talk to the people.
You just keep talking about this, and that, like he's some kind of pastor or whatever. And he just keep going and going like he's being heard. And oh my goodness, I was trying to remember what he said. Something about believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. Well, that's them two clowns sitting on the couch. That speaks for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good description of who they are, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
And then yes, it is correct that his father, his biological father, is this former NBA player over here with the Knicks and in the NBA. His own career, now even his own biological father is controversy. So mama controversy, daddy controversy. There's no peace. He can't find peace. He can't find love. He can't find acceptance. My heart breaks for him because I don't care how old you are. I always believe children are to be loved and protected.
Come on now.
Monique, you've made a huge mistake. Go fix it.
Go fix it.
I'm done.
I appreciate you, Felicia. And you know what, Fresh Strawberries? That's the perfect word. They couch clowns. Always sitting on that couch together with the foolery. Couch clowns. Your kid is 34. Are you kidding me right now? E, and then Julius, I'm coming to you, okay? Go ahead, E.
Well, from what I have seen and from what Monique has said, she has daddy issues. And God gave her not one, not two, but 3 sons and
Woo!
2. So these boys, as Felicia said, were to be nurtured, protected, and poured into. And if it is these young men's desires, they will go off into the world and expect women to demonstrate love the way they have witnessed it in their home and the way they have been nurtured and conditioned to receive it from the household which they have come from. Hypothetically speaking, they may want a young girl to refer to them as daddy or be codependent and require women to allow them to infuse their wants and needs into these and sacrifice their own is what I'm saying. And so, or option 3, they may go completely opposite and turn out nothing like that. The odds of that are highly unlikely, but it is possible. These sons will grow up to be somebody's boyfriend, husband, father, grandfather. So tell all your girls to hide their uteruses, because when that son said on that tape, because I didn't hear that when I watched it earlier, when Emmanuel sent it to me, but when he said that she was uninterested in being a mom and she only expressed her love through trinkets and gifts of financial value, I believe him. And I can equate that to Monique being a transactional mother. Not empathetic, not caring, because I didn't see any of that in her response. And all of that builds up and builds up because what it appears to me, because I didn't know much about the father until Felicia touched on that just a little bit. But it doesn't appear that in Monique's absence that the father was able to step in, fill in the gap, and help curb some of this neglect and trauma. So it's building up to where both parties are numb and no longer can see the good in one another. Shalon said in that video, and my heart sank, whew, trying to make this work would be a waste of God's time. And that was deep to me. This is not good, Monique. And I'm trying to have some grace because what I know from experience, anytime a mother has to step into the workforce or chooses to go into the workforce and step into that role of being a provider and a protector, a sacrifice is made. And for Monique, it was her son. And it's a sad day when a mother and her child have to stand on opposite ends of the velvet rope. These two are strangers. Now, my second thing is this is especially hard, like I said, because as mothers, we do have our own dreams. I heard Savannah say that Monique wanted to go to Hollywood. And yes, we have our own paths in life to follow and our own needs and wants, but children must come first. And a part of putting your kid first requires you to get up every day, go make a living for your family, put food on the table, make sure they have clean clothes to wear, safe shelter, proper education. And it's hard for single mothers, but this is the job. This is the job. And I would venture to say it is our most important job. Monique already told us over and over, I didn't do good with that child. I made some mistakes with that one. She said, I'm waiting on the universe to fix it. But God blessed you with 2 hands, 2 feet, and still able-bodied to speak from your heart and say that you are sorry for everything you didn't get right. Even if it wasn't your fault, even if you thought you did everything right, say, I'm still sorry because you did not take it that way. That's not the way I meant it. And you are my first priority. That's what I'm looking to hear. And I think that's what Shalom would have been looking to hear at one point in time. My last thing, and sorry, I'm long-winded. I want to talk about that second video because I had not seen that before I came up here with Monique and Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I said, Monique has the daddy issues, and then she got not 1, not 2, but 3 sons, and then 2 bonus ones. Now here's Shalon. He has all these mommy issues, and then bam, God blessed him with a daughter. The same daughter Monique always wanted. Monique wanted a girl. And it took her firstborn son, the very child she is at odds with, for God to give her that daughter, a granddaughter, the granddaughter who she's not even involved with right now. But you prayed for a girl so many times. You get what I'm saying? It's the pathology between Monique and Shalon, which hopefully the granddaughter can be shielded from. But everybody on that line is battling self-worth. Both the mother and the son feel unworthy, unheard, and unseen. See, I'm not interested in what Monique and Sydney had to say about Shalon because what Iyanla Vanzant said, the fish stinks from the head down. I don't care if the son is on drugs. I don't care if he does still talk to that uncle. Somebody posted that in the chat. Monique doesn't want to talk to him because he talks to her brother. I don't care about that. I'm not interested. This is what you raised. And if you have pawned your son off on family members to raise while you were off at work and touring the world, then of course he's going to be talking to his uncle. This is his family. And from what Sydney told us later, he doesn't have a good relationship with his immediate people. He's trying to get love wherever he can. And so the quote that always sticks out to me and what somebody told me, you always get back what you put in. So if you didn't put much into the child, you won't be able to get much out.
Woo!
But why in the hell is Sydney sitting next to Monique and addressing her eldest son prior to him and speaking negatively? Sydney is not even a stepfather. Let Monique tell it. He is the uncle, and Sydney has no intentions on being a stepfather. I have a problem with that. He said that Shalon cannot call no, he said he cannot call Shalon his son because you only get one dad. But if you only get one dad, why is Monique calling him
you
daddy?
daddy.
See, by Sydney's own metrics, that makes no sense. And if I was Shalon, I would be utterly disgusted by that, because Sydney said, and I'm trying to remember because it went by so fast. He said Monique, and Shalon's father all love each other and maintain a relationship for the sake of Shalon. Well, if all three of you maintain a relationship and you all love him so much, how come the father wasn't in that video? Where is he at? Why didn't he call you and say, no, let's do this privately? Let's address this off camera, because we need the power of three right now. Sydney and Monique have been married for 18 years, which is too long for your wife's son to be calling you Uncle Sydney. Okay? If Sydney loves Shalon so much and Sydney loves Shalon's father so much, I don't see the problem with Sydney claiming Shalon as his bonus son if you love him that much, just like you love your other three. See, what this came off to me as, let me get up here and invalidate Shalon's feelings and gaslight him and talk about, I helped you with the car. We bought the baby her first crib. You and your father were just fighting 2 years ago, so on and so on. Shalon spoke so modestly of Sydney in his video. He didn't even say his name. He didn't say anything bad about him because it wasn't about him. It's about my mom. Yet Sydney is on here exposing the fact Shalon may have mental support needs. He may be on drugs. He lacks proper communication skills, and he has problems maintaining interpersonal relationships. But this is what Monique raised, or she didn't raise, because you get back what you put in, right?
Come on
so
now.
Sydney says Shalon can't get along with his sister. He made some type of insinuation that there may be trouble with the child's mother, and we already know that him and Monique don't get along. And then you say that he's having trouble or issues getting along with his own father. And then Sydney thought that he was going to top it off and put the icing on the cake, that he even came to me and asked me for help and asked to call me daddy. And you said you told him no. He can't call you daddy, but his brothers can. He can't call you daddy, but his mama can. Sydney cannot hold Monique's hand for everything. And when it comes to Monique and her relationship with Shalon, they're at a crossroads. And this is a walk Monique will have to walk alone. Shut up, Sydney. That's all I got to say.
Come on now. Shut up, Sydney. Ali, thank you for the super chat. Monique wasn't married to the NBA player Mark Jackson. That Mark Jackson was married to someone else for 27 years. Yeah, Tamia. That's exactly why Monique. Thank you, and thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much, Paige, for the super chat. This is exactly why Monique hasn't been blessed professionally. God don't like ugly. Don't like ugly. That's your child. That part right there. So I tried to dig real quick, and you know what, everybody, thanks for, the correction. Sometimes people do misspeak. Don't beat them down. They don't mean any harm by it. But I pulled this up. Atlanta Black Star, okay? So it does tell in here, I just had it at one point, the 56-year-old acknowledged that she was not the best mother to Shalon, but that she sacrificed being a more present and nurturing figure to provide him with options she did not have. She did not have growing up. She shares her firstborn with her first husband, Dallas Morning News sports writer Calvin Watkins. Okay. We're still very much separated, and it's one of those things where you have to pray to the universe and say, let time do the healing. And that's it. Let time do the healing. It may heal it in time, and it may not. And that's something we as parents have to say. I've done what I could do. I've taken accountability for it. Now it's up to you. She told Sharp about the rift. That's some BS right there, because you let daddy sit next to you on the couch and expose everything he felt was the truth about your son. I bet you, why don't you tell all the things you've done for the other children? You're crying about you gave him a down payment and help with your grandbaby? The grandparents on both sides, I didn't have to do nothing for my kid but give birth to him. I had a C-section, but I didn't have to do nothing but give birth. Between both sets of grandparents, and I was good and grown. I told you, I had my son at 35, good and grown. between the grandparents, my sisters, that means the aunties, the uncles, whatever. I didn't have to buy nothing. I'm talking crib, the chair I sat in that was in his room. So many clothes, I had to give clothes away because he grew too fast. Get out of here with the tag still on it. Diapers stacked up for days. Formula. What kind of nonsense is that? And I told 35, I had my son. I had a job. The grandparents bought everything. To this day, his grandparents bought his first car. What kind of nonsense? And we not know Monique. What kind of nonsense is Monique and Daddy doing over there? They're trash. I be darned if I let a man sit next to me and talk about my seed. It will never happen. And if it does, send the people to do a wellness check on me because I'm not right. Julius, you're up.
Now I'm about to be consistent because that heifer and that wannabe man done up and pissed me off. I always talk about the village. When mama and papa are not mommy and daddy, the father figures, the uncles.
Wait, hold on 1 second, Julius. Hold on 1 second, Julius. Tawana, I don't know who you talking to, but we don't do this over here. So someone else provided for your kids, so that makes you a transparent. Excuse you and just say what now?
Oh, I'm about to hit on that.
No, hold on, Julius. Don't say nothing. Excuse you. We don't play over here. We have real conversations. And if a chord is triggered in you because you relate to Monique, because you have done it to your kids, your problem, your circus, not mine. I got a village over here. And my village is always together and we stand up for everybody. So if you relate to Monique, do you? Sorry, your mother, your father, your uncle, your brother, whoever has treated you in such a way. But don't come through the Diva channel on the train with that. Take that trash somewhere else, but we're not doing that. That's so disrespectful, out of pocket, and out of line. Go ahead, Julius.
I always talk about the village. Now, when mommy and daddy can't be mommy and daddy, the next people in line to be the mother figures and father figures are the granddaddy, grandma, aunties, uncles, godparents. I am a godfather. And I take the title Goddaddy very seriously. I don't play when it comes to my god babies. I don't play. But what this, she wants to talk about, oh, well, that's like Tyler Perry talking about the freaking light bill. So if we're going to talk, let's talk. That's why I'm so heated right now. That's like when we talked about the whole light bill thing. That's what came into my mind. Now back to the topic at hand. Now that young man's video, he not once talked out his mouth. And he was immensely gracious, might I add. Way better than me.
Hey, can you kick homegirl out? Because I don't want to get gangster now. Listen here. First of all, you might have said what you said, but you was wrong when you said it. So you must be relating to yourself. You must be a trash human being.
Hello.
Now say that and get the heck on out of here.
Hello.
We can't flights over here. We can't flights.
You know what? Let her stay. Maybe she learn what love and light is.
It wasn't a legit question, baby.
So let her go. Keep going with the commentary, Julius. Maybe she learned some love and light. How you gonna say because somebody family helped them out that you know you a trash parent? I would have to be a trash daughter because I told the story before. I'm sitting in this nice renovated kitchen as a result of daddy.
And let me tell you,
Go ahead, just finish, Julius. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm just real mad at it right now, especially about that comment. When my goddaughter was born, she was born a month early. Me and my mom, we spent $500 getting my cousin everything she needed. Everything. Because why? It takes a village. And to that comment, grow up and get some dang common sense, ya heifer.
Thank you, Julius. I think I'm gonna go to Dawn and then Katrina. I'm coming to you. If I skipped you, I'm like because now you shifted. But Dawn, you're up.
I'm glad that I shifted tonight and came down to the bottom of the panel instead of the top.
Oh, shoot.
Because initially I was going to come in extremely hot, and I still have things to say, but I have calmed down quite a bit. There have been people who said you have to honor your mother and your father, that your days may be long upon the earth, but the Bible also says parents do not provoke your children to anger. We seem to skip over that verse. We seem to skip over that verse quite often because that's not the way that we want. My lovely co-panelist E speaks so eloquently about the 13.2 million deadbeat fathers, but tonight I want to speak to the 14.2 trash mothers.
Oh, damn.
Oh, no, that'd be double. You know, that'd be double the done.
Who would rather fall in love with penis.
Oh, come on now.
Than take care of their children. See, the problem is we have these Instagram thoughts and these social media whores that like to chase a dollar.
Come on now.
Monique is no different from them.
Oh, shoot.
She pushed her child off on a relative because she was chasing a dollar. We love to make these excuses for trash deadbeat mothers.
Come on. Come on.
Oh, she had to do what she had to do. No, you're trash. Stay with your child. Because that's the same sentiment we would say to men.
Come on.
But mother seems to get away with this constantly. No, she's a trash parent. Even now, him being 34 years old, she's trash. I've been saying this for the longest time, but people seem to take up for Monique because she's speaking so-called truth to power to Oprah and Tyler Perry. See, the big mouths always get caught up. You always trying to lay everybody else's information out. You're always trying to drag everybody else's information out. But you seem to lack the foundational information to be a practical mother for your son. He said that sons, the first love a son has is to their mother, which is true.
Yes.
He didn't even get that opportunity.
Oh my God.
He was raised by Monique's cousin. She said it herself. And she loves to make all of these excuses. The excuses that you all don't want to hear from men. But she seems to have all of the excuses. And then her daddy steps in and wouldn't even let her have 2 sentences. He took over the entire conversation. Call me uncle. Isn't that what happens when the baby wakes up in the middle of the night and catches the boyfriend or catches the man home from the club and say, oh, you can just call him uncle? Just tell everybody he's your uncle, because I don't want everybody to know I'm sleeping with him. See, Monique fell in love with penis. Not 1, not 2, but 3 times.
Oh my God.
And when I first saw this story today, I immediately texted Diva. I said, Diva, you got to see this. And then the live happened with her and Sydney. I was even more pissed. I was more pissed because, Sydney, you didn't stand up as a man.
Come on now.
And say,
No, we treated this boy wrong, because you all love to talk about accountability.
Woo! Mm-hmm.
But you all didn't say we treated this boy wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we could have done things better. You all skated around the entire conversation and started right back again with Oprah and Tyler Perry.
Didn't they though?
No, you should have stayed on the topic. The whole internet is dragging you, Monique, and rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
Because you go on all these shows and you want to point your finger to everybody else, but you are a complete narcissist. You and your daddy, your pawpaw, the man who raised you, your grown self, he's still raising you. This boy was eloquent. He wasn't hood.
No.
So the foundation that he has, Monique can't even take credit for. Because she wasn't even there. And then you tried to say you were on the phone with him while he was trying to negotiate a car. You gave him a down payment. That's the least you can do. Because we always say the dad throws money at the child, right? And he's never there. But here goes this trash mother, 14.2, trying to throw money at the child and shut him up. But that's not going to happen. This story is going to drag and drag and drag, and rightfully so. D.L. Hughley was right.
Well, come on now.
When I said it a couple of weeks, and when y'all had this topic a few weeks, maybe last week, and I put it in the comments, D.L. Hughley was absolutely right. How dare you speak on this man's daughter's trauma? How dare you? You had your own trauma, but you want to pass over your son's trauma as to he's grown. Get over it. You have a serious problem, Monique. And it ain't just Sydney. It's you. Take some accountability, woman. Because you ain't no mother.
Do you remember saying...
Hold on 1 second, Julius. Hold on. K and J, thank you so much for the super chat. Love and light panel. The universe put the mirror on Monique today, didn't they, though? She asked for the universe. Didn't it, though? Didn't it, though? Listen, many people want us to address the trauma that Monique has went through. Can I tell y'all something that is really extremely unfortunate? I hate to say this. Extremely unfortunate. The amount of people that unfortunately have been touched by a predator is higher than you would probably ever believe. And I acknowledge it. I understand it. But I will say this. At some point, when do you keep circling back? Only when you have something tragic in your life, you want to circle back to the trauma, but everything else that you achieve is good. You manage to do that. But then when there's a bad part of you, you want to relate it to the trauma. She managed to take care of the twins. She managed to show love to the twins. Matter of fact, out of her own son's mouth, he said the 3 other boys didn't have the same experience that he had. I know he had the experience he had because you could tell out of Sydney's mouth. When Sydney came, he wasn't really getting much love before that because of her work. And when Sydney came, the little bit he was getting was shut off. When you got a man that could sit in the camera and say, "You can't call me daddy. You have a daddy. You only get one daddy." This man could sit in the camera and say that. Imagine what was going on with this kid was growing up in that household. When you got a man that never looked at this kid as his son. Monique said out of her own mouth, it's not Diva talking. Monique said this. Sydney knew you before you knew you. So Sydney knew me before I knew me. So he's like a father figure, but I can't call him daddy. So now I'm growing up in this household with my 3 brothers. It's pick up, it's drop off, it's school, it's whatever the case may be. Everybody in this household calls him daddy, and I gotta call him uncle. Our friends coming over to play this, that, and that, and every time you turn around, I'm the odd man out. My brothers, friends are coming over. Everybody say, hey, daddy, where's your dad? This and that. And I'm calling him uncle. How the heck do you explain that? He's your uncle, but their daddy? And you want to say, you wonder why maybe there's something not mentally right going on? We got to, go ahead.
Diva, I remember a few months ago, we gathered on the panel and had issues with Ralph not taking the same accountability.
Come on now.
With, what's the girl's name? Her son.
Josiah.
Yeah, Josiah.
Mm-hmm.
We had issues with that. We had a lot of issues. You know, the taxes and all of this.
Yep.
But this man is doing the exact same thing.
Ain't he though?
And he don't even want nothing from you like that. He don't want you to raise him. He already grown.
Mm-hmm.
But Monique won this Academy Award because this is the life that she lived.
Woo!
A trash mother. She didn't have to search far and wide to dive into the depths of this character, Precious Mom. Precious Mom treated her like trash, and she treated her son just like her. Not far-fetched at all.
Whew, it's a lot.
And the Don, remember when you said God doesn't work in confusion? The village doesn't parent in confusion.
Speak, Diva, because his parents have made it obvious for them to have supervised visitation with their granddaughter.
Diva, may I say something? Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I'll come back to you, Tay, but let me let Katrina speak and then I'll come back to you, okay? Katrina, go ahead. I don't know if it's me, but Katrina can. Okay.
Hold on. Microphone. Okay. You can let Tay go ahead. I'll speak after Tay.
Okay, go ahead, Tay.
And tell that Diva, he ain't my dad because I got a dad. And tell that I don't like him. Thank you.
Thank you, Tay. Katrina, you're up.
He's right. That's not his daddy. That's his granddaddy. Because if Monique calling him daddy, that makes her son is his granddaddy. So what should he expect? You just, I mean, I don't get it. If I fall out with my son, that would be the most heartbreaking thing that could ever happen to me. Because your son is supposed to be your backbone. You know what I mean? There's no possible way. I would do everything I can to mend that relationship. I wouldn't have came on the social media when my son did that. I would have went to him. And I dang sure wouldn't have had no man talking for me. If anything, I've been talking to my son. Look at me. This is what I'm saying to you. I want our relationship to work. I want us to go through what we got to go through to get this back on track. He would have been quiet. What you talking for me for? I have my own mouth. Keep your mouth quiet and let me talk to my child. Since you don't want my child to call you daddy. You want my child to call you uncle. What kind of mess is that? And then, like you said, this child in the house, everybody else calling you daddy, and you sleeping with my mom, but I got to call you my uncle. What kind of salacious junk is that? That's ridiculous. You put this boy through turmoil. Yeah, you gave him materialistic things. Materialistic things can't hug. Materialistic things can't kiss you. Materialistic things can't even hug you. So you gave him all that, but you didn't give him no affection. You gave him all that, but you wasn't there to tuck him in bed. Okay, you want to go out and you want to be in Hollywood. Then, my dear, you should have never even had me until you got your career together, and then you came back and had me. But you don't have me and just drop me off and think that everybody else will take care of me, and you don't take care of me. You're not the one that's doing it. You're not the one that's providing for me. Well, you're probably providing, but you're not the one that's giving me the things that you were providing me for. And the thing about it is, like, when the person that was in the chat, somebody, you a trash mom. Look, everybody, every parent, every grandparent, well, I ain't gonna say every parent, every grandparent, but most parents and most grandparents, most people give their daughters stuff when they're having a child. Because when a woman is having a child, she's basically being reborn. Because your body die and come back to life again. So a woman go through a lot when she's delivering a child. A woman can die when she's delivering her child. So when somebody else is giving you gifts to help you with that child, that don't mean that you're a trash mama. That just means that you're being appreciated to have that child that you birthed. So I don't understand what they talking about. That's a trash. You're being a trash mom because somebody gave you gifts or whatsoever. That's some bull crap. Take that somewhere else, because we don't fight like that down here. Not in Alabama. But anywhere. But I'm just saying in general. You don't say no mess like that. That is totally disrespectful. So basically, somebody giving you a gift, you got to give the gifts back because you don't want nobody taking care of your child. You're going to do it yourself. Like they say, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes an army to raise a child. Even one child. So imagine you got 3 or 4. So whoever's saying that, that's ridiculous. Monique should have talked to her son herself. She should have had that conversation with her son herself. She could let Cindy stayed off or put him in the bathroom or did something else with him. She should have talked to her son and told her son, look, listen to what I'm saying to you. Yes, we had our ups and we had our downs, but listen to what I'm saying to you. If you want this relationship to work, we got to work on this relationship together. Don't be on the internet. If you're going to be on the internet, that's what you should have said. Other than that, you should have called your son, look, we need to have coffee. We need to go talk. We need to get this together. You don't come back on there and then bash your son talking about you bought him or put a down payment on the car. Okay, y'all supposed to have so much money. Why didn't you just go ahead and pay for the car and let him pay you later if he couldn't afford the car? See, I don't get that. But anyway, I digress. Monique, you really, really, like I said the other day, wrong messenger. I don't even want to go that way. Anyway, I'm done. I'm done. Because you're making me sick. I'm done. I'm done.
I appreciate you. So Mitchell said, no, my brother, she's not trash. She's just trying to work her mistakes out. Y'all got to go raunchy sometimes. All the disrespect is unnecessary. Monique is not trash. Okay, so I understand Mitchell, and there's some others that, you know, they're I don't want to use the word emotional, but they're connected to what Monique is, and they want to give Monique some grace. I would have had grace for Monique if when her and daddy sat on that couch and turned on that camera, they didn't go gutter low when talking about the son that came out of her uterus. She allowed this man to sit there and say that he got mental issues. She allowed this man, her husband, to sit there and say, no, you can't call me daddy. You got a daddy. She allowed this man to bring up, because they was on the phone and helped negotiate a car. Listen, I had to tell my son about his bank account, how to handle his money, how to do this, how to do that. He had to be taught how to do the oil change, how to carry this, what to do with this, blah, blah, blah. He got an easy pass in this car. How else is the kid going to learn? So what? He's 31. There's some people, no matter what age you are, they know how to negotiate and do things better than you. So you're going to sit there because you gave him a down payment, and like somebody said, you didn't buy the car. You gave him a down payment and you helped them negotiate a deal. I mean, how gutter low are you? And so my biggest thing, though, and this is why I'm calling her trash, my biggest thing is out of their own mouth, I don't know it to be true, Out of their own mouth, they said something about him having mental issues. So if I know my child has some mental issues, the last thing I'm going to get up in the camera and go off of him, knowing that perhaps there's something not right anyway. Does that make sense to y'all? I know my kid, and I'm not saying he does. He spoke very well, if you ask me. I know my kid got mental issues. He went on live and said something. And in addition to that, I know his generation is the internet generation. And I'm going to go address something my kid said about me, when before that, I already said myself. He said nothing any different than Monique didn't already come out and say herself that she was not there for him. And he came back and spoke on it again because he's probably tired of seeing, just like she's tired of Tyler and Oprah Winfrey ignoring her. He's tired of her saying, oh, I hope the universe helps her out. He's not doing no different than his mother doing. He got it from his mama. His mama will go on every couch, do every interview, turn on her own Instagram to talk her grievances, and now she's mad that her son came on the same platform that she uses to talk about his. Y'all make that make sense, and that's why I'm saying trash. Trash. He learned it from his mama. His mama turned her and daddy. The first thing they did when they heard that, they couldn't wait till they woke up. Come on, daddy. And they sat on that couch together and they talked about her seed. And I'm saying trash again because there ain't no man on the face of this earth, I promise you that, going to have me and you sit next to you, you talk about my seed. There's no way. I'm not going to do it. And this ain't got nothing about doing perfect, this, that. We all fall short. But where I'm not going to fall short is when you want to talk about the kid I gave birth to. No, they had to do a C-section on me. They cut my belly open to get him out. You ain't going to talk about him. He can't call you daddy, then you really don't love me. I'm a package deal. I don't care if my child is 30. I'm a package deal. You coming into my life, you can't just love me. You got to love that kid I gave birth to too. And if you got kids, I don't care if they 30. I don't care if they 50. I don't care if they 40. I got to meet the kids and we all got to love each other. Because I got to know if something happened to me, and my kid is out there, he needs somebody, I could wake you up and say, go see about mine. Trash. And I hate that it hit you on the side. Mitchell, trash. She's trash. And Mitchell, if you have a kid and you're not married to that kid's mother, and you allow somebody to sit next to you and talk about your seed, forgive me, Mitchell, but trash. And it's a point blank in the period. I told y'all tonight, buckle your seatbelts. We're going to sting some people in the side. We're going to bop some people up on the head. We're going to crash and we're going to burn. But we're going to tell the truth. So many kids is messed up in these streets because the mother or the father don't let a step person in the family, and that step person don't know how to treat the kids that came before them. There's some stepmothers out there that's wilding out. There's some stepdaddies out there that's wilding out. It's up to the biological parent to make sure whoever they let in their life, that you're not going to treat my seed dirty, and I definitely won't treat yours dirty. I told y'all before, y'all could go back in the video. I can't find it because I got 1,700 plus. I told y'all before, if I get with somebody and we going to Disney, I'm not going to be me and my kid and the man going to Disney. How many kids you got? Before we can go to Disney, we got to see, you got 3, I got 1, that's 4, it's 6 of us. Let's see how much it costs for 6 people to go to Disney. Now, if your mother don't let them go, if their mother don't let them go, I can't do nothing about that. But we need 6 tickets to Disney because we got 6 kids. If I buy a pair of sneakers, I gotta buy 6. Or how many kids we got up in here? If we pay for one to go to college, we gonna find the money for all 4 of these kids to go to college. Is somebody getting a down payment for a car or somebody getting a car? We got to dig in the piggy bank for everybody when it's their turn to get a car. If not, you are trash. And that's my definition of trash as a parent. You're trash. Now, y'all want to sit up here and say that it is okay for this woman to sit next to daddy and allow daddy to look in that camera and say, you can't call me daddy. He's trash. Pure trash. And for that other person that still pissed me off, you never heard of a baby shower girl? Go sit down. Anybody else before and listen, let me say this. I want to say this. Hold on, I'll come to you. Give me a minute.
I want to go, Diva.
Okay, give me a minute. I want to say this. Sorry, Diva, complete other side. Some point you have to give to God. There's nothing she could do. I promise you there's more. Remember, for 10 years, she worked very little. I hear you. Well, you know what, AJ's? Then I need to hear more. But I want to say this. I wish they renamed that tour. I'm not liking that Dark Matter now. I'm not liking it. I wish Cat Williams, he renames the tour. Because it is a lot of dark matter in that tour. But I'm going to leave that there. Go ahead, in my opinion. What did you want to say?
And here's the thing, y'all. I think y'all not listening to this boy's message because it was very clear, okay? He don't want anything materialistic. He don't want no monetary money. He don't want none of that, okay? What he wants is for her to keep his name out of her mouth because she keeps going on interviews and saying she's praying to the universe. She's praying to God that they build a connection while she's not doing anything to build that connection. And he's not running up behind her anymore. So he's saying, keep that you praying for because faith without work is dead. And he's right. She's not putting any work or any energy into it. So why should he? He is the baby.
And I'm going to piggyback off of, in my opinion, because this young man circuits the comedy clubs here in the DMV area. Her old stomping grounds, because Monique is from Baltimore, he could easily go in these comedy clubs and say, hey, I'm Monique, Oscar winner, son, and he can easily use her name and get in these comedy clubs and headline, and he refuses to. He's been doing this for years, and he does not use her name at all. He doesn't want to be known as her son, and I have been known and seen his name around on these comedy circuits and spoken word out here, and he does very well on these shows, but he does not want to be known as Monique's son out here. So Monique, he does not want any relationship or any connection to her. And for the comment that's in her in the chat as that she hasn't had any work in the last 10 years. That's on Monique. She had a YouTube channel. She just chose to, she had a YouTube platform. She chose to not do something where she made any money off of it. She could have easily did something where her and daddy could have monetized it and made something, but I never watched it. I don't know what they did with their platform, but nothing that we need to spend any time on, honestly.
They probably complained and asked Oprah and Tyler Perry for the 20th time or the 10,000th time to give them an apology. Craft retired with Boss Lady merch. The boy is 32, so if he's still mad, he just still mad, not Monique's fault, and she don't have to go to him. And that is not his daddy, though. He's respecting his real daddy. Y'all making too much out of that.
Diva, can I say something real quick to that comment?
Of course you can.
But he's not mad.
We can say the same thing to Monique.
Come on now.
She's almost 60 years old.
Preach.
And she's still mad at Oprah.
Come on
she's
now.
Still mad at Tyler Perry.
Hello.
When is she gonna get over it?
Come on now.
Hello.
Come on now.
Preached on.
Dan Pan said the
But
same thing.
because
It's
he's a
funny
guy,
people
they don't
saying
want to
he's
give him that same respect.
yeah. Dan Pan said it's funny. People saying he's 32, get over it. Then Monique needs to get over the mess with Tyler and Oprah. Come on now. Anybody else before I move on? I can't even believe we was on this thing for 2 hours.
All I'm saying, I'm trying to stay in good standing with my kids because I don't never know when I might need an organ. So I just try to say
Not an organ.
I do, Diva. Bye bye, Monique and her no good husband. That's all.
I appreciate you. Anybody else?
Yeah, the village doesn't parent in confusion. Shout out to the Don because he said God doesn't work in confusion. So guess what? The village doesn't parent in confusion.
And if she want him to build a bridge and get over it, then I need her to build a bridge and get over this Tyler Perry Oprah. Every time they get on their camera, it doesn't matter what they addressing. They was addressing the son, and they went straight into, "Are we in slavery?" And it was Judge Mathis and Tyler Perry and Steven Smith and everybody else. It was everybody's fault, but it ain't never hers. Take some accountability for your actions. You did mess up this child's life. Take the accountability.
You know what's sad? He's very well spoken. I never heard him do his stand-up, but look at what she's missing out on. Being on tour with her own flesh and blood.
And even out of his own mouth, he said he ain't seen them in 3 years. Out of daddy own mouth, that Monique ain't seen her son in 3 years. Now make sense.
Yeah. You know what? I do pray that this gets fixed. You have a son that has talent. You could be on tour with this boy. Y'all could be raking in the dough as a mother-son duo. But you sitting next to the enemy and don't even realize it. Do you know how many people said they would rather speak to Monique without daddy? It reminds me of Wendy Williams and Kelvin Hunter, where so many people said they would rather speak to Wendy and not Kelvin, not Kevin, Kelvin, whatever you want to call him. They didn't want to speak to him. They felt he was the problem. And if they could just speak to Wendy, but nobody could speak. When they was together, no one could speak to Wendy without Kevin Hunter. And no one can speak to Monique without daddy on her hip. Daddy, in my opinion, is controlling. She can't say a word, but you know you done lost your whole soul when the kid you gave birth to, you allow somebody else to sit next to you and pretty much tell you or talk about your son. Now, out of Monique's own mouth, she said she married the first time because you wasn't going to have the cow and get the milk for free. She said she married the second time because she needed somebody to pay her rent or whatever. When she married Sydney, this is out of her own mouth, Monique's own mouth. When she married Sydney, that's when she had true love. That's when all was well. The son said when she got with daddy, that's when she was interested in becoming a mom. Y'all connect the dots. Y'all connect the dots. So maybe, just maybe, she felt a certain kind of way, even though she claims they such good friends. And that was a dig to her son too. We all friends, you the odd man out. Both of them sat on that couch and says, I'm friends, you pretty much sound friends with your real dad. That man is a piece of work. And she's shaking her head. Like, yeah, we all friends. So you telling a kid again, I don't care if he's 32, 52, 42, you're the problem. They keep telling him over and over, you're the problem because your mom me and your dad, we're all friends. That came out of Sydney's nasty mouth. You had problems with your dad 2 years ago. You came to me and asked me if you could call me dad. I cannot with this man, because I swear to goodness, I could be on here all night and it's going to give me agita, because I could go somewhere and slap him. It couldn't be me. And then he said, your mother gave you the down payment to this car. Because if it was up to Sydney, he wouldn't have got nothing.
No, he said half. He said, oh, he said half of the down payment.
Yeah, I know. Half. But he said your mother. So because if it was up to Sydney, he wouldn't have gave you anything. I wonder if Shalom is in the will. Because if it's up to Sydney, I'm sure he's not. Daddy's a piece of work, but so is Monique.
Monique just needs to purge herself from all the trauma and all the hate that she got in herself, because love and hate can't live in one heart. She needs to purge herself and get herself back to the point. She needs to let all that drama go with Tyler Perry and Oprah and all the other mess. And Daddy, I still don't understand why a woman called her husband dad. That's just weird. But she just needs to purge herself, and she needs to get herself right with her children. Because, see, the thing of it is, your children are supposed to, well, I'm not saying all children, but most children are supposed to be your backbone, and you're supposed to be their backbone. And I know that's what I am with mine. So I just hope that they go to therapy, go to whatever. The boy said he don't want to work it out with her anymore. So, but you still got to fix that. You still got to fix that, because you don't know how you're going to be when you get old. You don't know who got to make the decision on your life when you get old. So you need to fix that with your kids, and hopefully she would do that.
Hey, good boy. Thank you for the super chat. He said, "How's Sydney Daddy when Kevin Hart paying the bills?" That part. So they got grace and mercy from others, right? They got grace and mercy for others. When she was down and out, Kevin Hart wrote a check when she was with Daddy. So Daddy, I never heard about, what does Daddy do? Kevin Hart wrote your check, but God forbid you have any grace and mercy for your own seed. That's what I'm talking about. Trash. Trash. Daddy is manipulating. He's manipulative. He's a piece of work. And God bless Shalom. Because he endured a lot. You can tell just the way Daddy is acting towards him at 32. Imagine when he was a teenager growing up. He probably had to leave that house as soon as he was 18. You can't call me Daddy. That I can't even get over it. Listen, y'all, I'm about to show this feel-good story and close out. I can't even go to the other topics. Anybody else before I move on?
I do, Diva. I got a song for her, if that's okay with you.
Go ahead.
So long, farewell to you, my friend. Goodbye, so long. Goodbye, Monique and her daddy. Goodbye.
Thank you, Tay Tay. I appreciate you. We're going to roll right into this feel-good story.
What would you say if you came?
She lost
that was beautiful, Diva.
Thank you. She lost her whole family. And you have Monique, who has her family right before her eyes, still here. And over some nonsense. She's staying distance and estranged from her son. Every moment counts. We do have to learn how to forgive. And we got to learn how to have accountability And we got to acknowledge her whole family just like that. And for whatever reason, she was meant to be here. Hung on in that water 20 hours. 20 hours. And they found her. I'm going to say this. I get it. Stuff happens. I get it. Maybe you didn't do your best in real time in the moment. But what happened yesterday doesn't have to impact your now and your tomorrow. Just got to humble yourself. What is the big deal? I would say to my son over and over again until I can't say it no more. I'm sorry. Can we figure this thing out now? Sorry. And like the Don said, I'm not going to be chasing no penis. It ain't that serious for me. Not over my own flesh and blood. Not of the kid I had. So we wonder why, as females, we bump into these men that are broken, beat down, hurt. Because you got a mother like this. And respectfully, y'all, I'm going to say, and because we got people out there saying, oh, she did the best she could. She don't owe him nothing. And then you wonder why the man that steps in your home, that leaves a seed in you, that marries you, is all jacked up. Go see about his mom. Motherly mayhem. I want to thank y'all for being here. I appreciate y'all. Y'all know how I get down over here. We get to the end. We get to the end, and I appreciate y'all. Y'all can unbuckle your seatbelts because we're pulling into the final stop. Thanks for being here. Sorry, we could not get to the rest of these stories, but this was, oh, what a topic. If you didn't hit the like button coming in, hit the like button going out. I'll see you next time. Good night, everyone.
Do not cheat the diva. Always strike down. Thank you.
Hit the like button,
Love
y'all.
you, diva.